Alright, so working on our project now for Monet, week 16 of Great Artists, cycle 2. So we have watercolor paper, and I'm using a crayon to act as a resist, and because we're going to use the techniques of dry brush and also wet on wet for watercolor, just to see how those ways that we use the water and the paints and our brushes to produce different effects on the paper. And so the wax resist, our crayon in this case, it's going to just help us make sure we keep those areas separate so we can try those different techniques. When you do what, it's fun to explore in watercolor. Also using either like rubber cement works really great. You can paint it on, and then you could, after it dries and after you paint, you can peel it back off, and then you would still have a white area that you could paint again. But it helps block out areas is the point of it. But we'll do that with a crayon too. So we're going to just do a bridge, any kind, any color, but make sure it's a nice dark line. I'm going to do ours like Monet's curved bridge that was inspired by Japanese prints that he liked, and some supports. Okay. Alright, and now we're going to work on first some dry brushing. So I've got my water. I also have a clean water dish, so I'd recommend there be maybe just a couple of water dishes for the students that just stays clean water, that we're not going to wash our brushes out in, but we have one to wash out a brush and one that's just going to stay clean water with no paint in it. And so for dry brushing, we're going to do just a little bit of water, and you could have your students mix colors again. I'll just show that for this demo, but you know, of course you've got other colors in there, but you can mix watercolors too. So I would pull off some red, and I can use just the lid of my container, or I could use a separate plate and just wipe it over here. And then I'm gonna, should have probably started with the yellow, the lighter color, but I grab some yellow, and I can mix those colors right over here on the side to make a lighter orange, and you can do the same thing with any of those other colors. But so we're going to make a kind of warm colors up at the top to make our sunset. So I'm going to just make my sun, dab that color on, and then get some yellow and just make dabs of color around here to fill in this top areas. And so it's just dry paper and dabs of brush strokes here. Grab a little more red in there, make more dabs of color around there. As part of this, the dabs of colors that our eyes are mixing this color, like when we look at Monet's paintings, or Seurat, or so many other Impression artists, when you're standing far away, those colors kind of mix together. When you get up close, you can see the individual colors. Make a lighter orange, fill in this space here. You can also use just the water and come in and brush it out, kind of blend it a little bit. And add a little more red back in here. Okay, now I'm going to show, we can grab our sponge brush and clean water. So we haven't used our sponge brush yet, so it should be nice and clean. And we're going to do the area under our bridge, and we're going to make the paper wet first. And we're going to choose cool colors, so our blues into greens. And I'm going to dab colors into the wet areas and see how they kind of start to blur. And if we put our paints next to each other, they'll blur even more. And again, just to make tints, I could add more water to it to make it lighter blue. Choose another cool color. So I'll mix some green and grab some yellow to add my blue over here. And when I lay those colors next to each other, they can start to blur together a little bit, but still dabbing in the Impressionist style. Okay, even make some purple and some blue. make kind of darker, or it's more of a dark blue, a little bit of purple hints there. But along the sides, and more shaded areas of water. If I wanted those colors to blur together a little more, I can come in with some water and just kind of gently brush out, and the colors will blur together to fill in some of those white areas. If we have a student that gets a little happy with the water, we can always come in with our napkin and just press it out, okay? And that takes out some of the water. And then lastly, let's do our reflection of the sunset. So I'm going to grab some of my red again and just kind of let that blur in, just kind of watery wash over the top. Okay, so you could have come back in, and if you have more time, you could add, your details in between the bridge here, add more sunset colors, or have students add vegetation out here, dabs of green, dark green, lighter greens, and just those close colors, analogous colors, to kind of make the final color for something. Okay, and that's it.